this is Thea and welcome to another video. Today we are reading chapter 15 of Hermitcraft Mayhem, and apologies for any background noise. It's a snow day today for the boys, so it might get a little rowdy, but that's okay. We're just rolling with it and having fun as we go. But if you hear anything, that's why. If you don't stress about it. Not important, but captions are available if you are interested in following along with subtitles. You don't have to, but I am trying to get better at reading stuff, and it's just, sometimes I tend to mumble, but I guess you figured that. But we should get right into the video. Why not? Chapter 15. Scar found himself back in the dream world. He was in a forest, scattered with oak and birch trees. Not Gerald's forest, Scar sighed, getting up from the mossy ground. For now, anyway. Was Gerald here somewhere? Rob? Scar scanned his surroundings. The forest was quiet. Too quiet. Where were his friends? Weren't they supposed to stick together? Unease threatened to bubble over as he forced it back down, lifting his chin. He could brave this. This wasn't the scary, dark forest. He knew who he was. Maybe his friends were waiting for him. But why did he wake up here? Last time he'd been at the picnic with Green and Impulse. Then again, at the picnic blanket with Green and Impulse. But, picnic is whatever. And again, Gerald had been there. Had one of his friends pulled him into a dream? No, that couldn't be right. Sure, Impulse had been close, but he hadn't achieved it. Was that why he was ambushed in Scar's head? Was Gerald trying to keep him from figuring it out? Keep Scar in the dark, forcing him to relive his nightmares over and over? It was something he would do. I'm okay, Scar spoke softly. There was no sign of the convicted murderer here. But Scar knew he could appear at any moment, at any time. There's nothing bad out there. Just start walking. Scar took a cautious step forward. When he didn't see the movement of any shadows, or hear the rustle of leaves, he took another step, then a third. You got this, Scar whispered to the world around him. There was no response, nor was he expecting one. He was in control. Here. He didn't have to let a man like Gerald bully him into getting what he wanted. Scar knew who Gerald was, what he was capable of. Why was he any different when he was alive? He was certainly still obsessing over him, enjoying every ounce of fear Gerald could squeeze from the hermit. What is the best way to beat him is to not give him what he wants? Scar wondered, following the trail through the trees. Gerald couldn't hurt him here. Sure, he most certainly scared him, but he could only hurt him as much as Scar let him. He'd done it before. What changed? Would have killed me if it wasn't for Julius. A lump formed in Scar's throat. That it? Gerald started something and wanted to see it through. Couldn't he see how pointless it was doing it here if he wanted to kill him? What if killing you was never my goal? The sinister thought filled his mind. Scar gasped, spinning around. No one was there. He was alone, just like it was many times before. Green? Impulse? Can you hear me? Scar called out, half expecting to hear Gerald's laughter bounce off the trees. I can hear you, a faint voice shouted in the distance. Green. Hope sparked in his heart as he quickened his walk into a jog. I'm on my way. I don't like being alone out here. Do you need me to come get you? I'm fine. I'm coming. Scar spotted a clearing ahead, his spirits lifting when he saw the lilies in the valley. Sure enough, picnic blanket and basket were where they were supposed to be. Grian sat cross-legged on the blanket, scrambling to his feet when he saw him. "You made it," Grian beamed, running over to pull him into a hug. "You know where Impulse is?" Grian pulled away, head shaking. "No, I was here by myself. I thought we were doing the exercise again." "Me too," Scar replied, glancing wearily back toward the forest. "I guess it didn't work? Or Gerald somehow got to him first," Grian muttered, biting his bottom lip. "How? We only just fell asleep." "I don't know, but it makes sense." Grian shrugged. He was trying to figure out how to stop him. "I hope he's okay." Scar shook his head. He closed his eyes, reaching out to his mental hand, searching for Impulse's link. It took him a moment before he found it. He shuddered as a wave of terror crashed against him. "I wouldn't bother," Gerald said nonchalantly. "Your friend is a bit preoccupied at the moment." "How did you—" Scar opened his eyes, seeing Grian spin around. "What did you do to him?" Gerald stood a dozen feet away, his black hood casting his face in shadow. The man shrugged. "Nothing. I could let him ruin our fun, after all." Grian took a nervous step back. Gerald smiled as more figures appeared, all looking identical to Gerald. Rob was nowhere to be seen. Was he tormenting Impulse, or keeping the girls and meetups busy? "Very good questions, Good Times," Gerald mused. "I'm afraid you won't be getting answers tonight." "I didn't say anything." "I can hear your wheels turning," Gerald snickered. "Your kind worries too much about your friends. Wouldn't you be a little concerned if your enemy was harming your friends?" "I don't have friends. I have allies." "More like tools," Grian snapped. "You're just using those hosts just like you have with everything else. You lie and you manipulate and toss away whatever you don't need anymore." "I have my reasons," Gerald crossed his arms. "Not that it's any of your concern." "Where's Impulse?" Grian demanded. "I already told you. He's a bit busy," Gerald snorted, facing his own demons. "You won't get away with this," Grian said, lifting his chin, but Scar spotted the slightest tremble of his bottom lip. Grian was afraid, and why shouldn't he be? Gerald was about to drag them into horrible nightmares whenever he wanted to. Was able to drag them into horrible nightmares if he wanted to. Don't get what he wants. Scar glanced at his friend before returning to Gerald. "Where's your end goal here? If you wanted to break me, you had plenty of chances." Gerald smiled. "Who says I'm done trying?" "And I say I'm done fighting," Scar said defiantly. Gerald raised an eyebrow. "Oh, you know, even after everything. And I say I'm not done fighting." Sorry, I totally misread that. "You can't fight forever." Gerald cackled. "You will eventually wake up to the reality that no one cares what happens to you. No one cares if you save one life or millions. You'll be a memory, a story one day. Nothing more than a myth." "Then why not make it worth it?" Scar gave the man his signature smirk. Gerald scowled. "I think I need to teach you both a lesson," the man growled, raising a hand. "What lesson? That you're a ghost desperately clinging to power? You can't do anything to us now." "I think I can," Gerald said darkly. "It's already too late for you. It's been too late ever since the day we followed you home, Grian." Grian gulped, taking another step back. Scar grabbed his hand, squeezing it reassuringly. "Together." Grian nodded, as a sword appeared in his hand. A force field surrounding them as the Gerald's child charged forward, banging and shoving at the force field. Gerald laughed from behind them as Scar turned, yelping as the man lunged for him. "Scar!" Grian warned as the two of them dove out of the way. Why was Gerald able to teleport through the force field? Anyway, shouldn't that be illegal? Maybe it worked differently with ghosts, like Impulse theorized. "Don't let him grab you," Scar ordered, getting to his feet as he swung his sword at Gerald. The man cackled. lunging over Scar again. You're not getting away from me this time, good times. I always find a way. Behind you! Green screamed as Scar dodged Gerald only to fall back on something hard and cold. Pain shot through him as he gasped. Looming over him was Gerald. Nah, two of them. Both were sneering at him with wicked smiles. Scar felt something cold and slimy grabbing his leg, slowly climbing up the leg before stopping at his waist. Tears filled up his eyes as Scar fought back the pain. Show no fear. Show no fear. Scar gritted his teeth as Gerald knelt to his level. Stormy gray eyes were filled with triumph. What do you have to say now? Get away from him! Green bellowed, slashing his sword through the man as the golden blade pierced through the body. Gerald laughed, no pain evident on his face. You can't hurt me here. Gerald turned around to face Green, the blade collapsing to the floor as Green let go. You know nothing about ghosts, do you? Why would you? Gerald laughed, pulling out an obsidian dagger. Green took another step back as the scene changed around them. Now they were in a cave, and Green's back was against the stone wall. Trapped. Green! Scar cried, struggling to free himself from the vine. But his arms were pinned behind his back, his legs bound together by this black slime. Scar's eyes widened as Gerald looked back at him and smiled. All it takes is one order, and you're all dead. Or worse. What could be worse than death? Green squeaked as Gerald stepped closer, forcing the hermit to practically hug the wall. I can show you, Gerald mused, waving his blade back and forth in front of Green's face. Scar was an excellent test subject, I must say. Horror filled Scar as the man leaned closer to Green, the blade mere inches from his face. No! Leave him alone! No, why would I do that? Gerald chuckled, not turning from his target. It was a year ago you pretended to be him, wasn't it? It seems only right. No, please! Scar struggled against his restraints. He's not the one you want. I already have what I want. Gerald smirked, looking all so smug as he loomed over Green. The young hermit looked so small compared to the muscular build of the man. Scar watched helplessly as Gerald caressed Green's chin with a hand. Do you have anything to say for me? Green! Scar cried again, groaning as his vines tightened their vice-like grip. Green turned his head slightly toward him, meeting his eyes. He can't hurt us here. Not unless we let him. Scar bit his back a sob as he nodded, closing his eyes as he rested his head on the stone floor. It was cold to the touch, and soothing. Imagined himself in his bed, safe and warm, stroking Jelly's head with his hand. He let the memory take hold. He relaxed, hearing the sound of voices. His friends, his family. He was safe here. There was no maniacal laughter, no screams of pain. If he opened his eyes, he would find that everything was as it should be. Green was safe. Impulse was safe. Gerald had no power here. Scar? Green's voice spoke through the darkness. There was no hint of fear. No sign that Gerald was there. But could he dare open his eyes again? What if he arrived back at that cave, watching Gerald hurt one of his best friends, helpless to do a thing about it? Scar, it worked. Green's voice was softer now, softer and closer. You did it. He's gone. I did? Scar asked, unsure if he was coming from a deeper within, like a subconscious, or from the dream world. Or were they even still in the dream world? Something firm landed on his back. A hand? There was movement. A moment later, someone rubbing his back. Am I still dreaming? Scar asked, the memory fading as he tried to push the hand away. We're still in a dream world, I'm pretty sure. Green continued. I don't know what you did, but the moment you relaxed, there was a flash of light. It chased the shadows away. It chased Gerald away. Before I could even blink, I found myself here. Here? Where is... Scar groaned, finally opening his eyes as he sat up. He gasped when he saw the forest around them, the lilies dancing in the breeze, felt the soft fabric of the blanket underneath him. How did I do this? I don't know, Green found, appearing in his field of view. I was imagining myself back in the sleepover room. It was jelly. I was in my bed. I found on warm blankets. Surrounded by my friends, it was nice. Green blinked at him, bewildered. Really? Scar nodded, rubbing his chest where he'd been stabbed. It doesn't hurt anymore. Wow. Green shook his head. It can't possibly be that simple. Maybe it can, Scar said thoughtfully. Like for impulse, he entered the dream world trying to find Skiz, and he did. Skiz led him to a memory. I guess I just wanted to be anywhere else, and I imagined I was here. I was home. That's amazing. Green nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. You saved my life. I would have woken up. Would I have? Gerald wanted to make you go through that horrible scene over and over again until you couldn't take it anymore. He wanted me to watch, didn't he? Scar asked. Green nodded. I think he did. Oh, we made it through at least, Scar beamed, getting to his feet. Should we go find the others to make sure they're all okay? Green hesitated. Can stay here for a little longer. You can do that. Scar plopped back down, wrapping an arm around Green's shoulders. Just want you to know, I wouldn't have done it differently. I know RJ had the wrong guy the minute he walked in that room. Last thing I wanted was for your first time meeting him to be that. Green smirked. I guess that's not always a bad thing, seeing him not getting their way. Yeah, Green Scar giggled, turning his eyes up to the stars. There was not a cloud in sight. It was breathtaking, how they sparkled, almost like they were trying to communicate, whisper the secrets of the universe to his soul. He was home. And that, my friends, is the end of that chapter. I hope you enjoyed, and next one, we get to dive into another nightmare. Yeah, this was interesting. But yeah, dreams can be a little scarier, yes. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that might be.